You need a loan, a checking account, a fixed deposit or insurance. NCCU got you in various offices, so it's high time to begin your membership. You want quality products, we have that. You want quality services, we have that too. Our services will help make your dreams come true. That's a fact. Hurry now to NCCU, your community financial partner. Here to support you through all disaster. At NCCU, trust us, we care. That kind of loyalty you cannot find anywhere. National Cooperative Credit Union, education, training, and information. Self-help, self-responsibility, democracy, equality, solidarity. At NCCU, we hustle hard for our members. So become a member today at one of our local offices to help us make your dreams come true. 255-2126. NCCU, your community financial partner.
I get up.
Boy, I hungry.
Wait, come see that.
Take advantage of Perky's Pizza's college student discount. Spend $10 to $50 and get 10% off, or spend $51 and up for a 15% discount. Flash your ID and save big today.
Hello. Welcome. Good evening. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Oh my God, it is the last day of April. The last day of April. The year is just like the NCCU loan is vrooming. It's vrooming fast. Listen, where is the time going? Like, I swear to God, like it feels like the year is rushing to finish. I don't know. It's in a race with you and I. Good evening. Welcome to the show. Welcome aboard. Share alive one time. If you're just coming on, hit the share button. If it's your very first time coming on here, hit the subscribe, hit the follow. Get into it, guys. Come on down. The bell is rung. It's time for class to begin. We're getting ready for another exciting show. I'm so excited to be back here with you. It's been a minute, yo. It's been a minute. I mean, in the midst of having like multiple different things that I'm trying to like do, we have to take a pause for the cause, kind of regroup, figure out our bearings, also make sure that we got sponsors for the show because it is May tomorrow. We got to make sure of things, right? Make sure our guests are secured. And I want to big up Samaj one time for making sure things continue behind the scenes, because trust and believe, it can become hectic, right? It can become hella hectic. Welcome aboard, guys. If it's your very first time on here, it's good to have you on. If you're a regular schmegular, I want to say thank you for joining us. Thank you so very much for coming aboard to this evening. Share it live once you get on. I love to see those my YouTube guys. Jump those hearts for me, those YouTubers. My YouTube folks, drop the hearts for me. I see you, Tara. Good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see a lot of folks coming on YouTube. Yes, love, 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 love that, love that. That is the preferred place to listen to view this show. Why it's the preferred place? Because Facebook is being salty and ending my lives within 30 days. Within 30 days, it has a delete the live, right? On YouTube, it remains on. So I want to encourage you on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, get on YouTube right now. If you check on my page, if you're on Jael Joseph, I have actually um, included the link on there. If you're not on Jael Joseph, I can probably send you the link again. Thank you. I see. Is that SC? How do you pronounce that? EC? ECCE? Good evening. Welcome. It's good to have you joining me on YouTube. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Love you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We're gonna get this show started. We have an exciting guest. We have a great lineup. Tara everywhere. Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. Tara everywhere. Tara gonna sell you to gravy. Thank you very much, my love. You know I love you. I love you, love you, love you to the max. I love you to the max, right? We have an exciting show here this evening. We have the wonderful Luana is going to be joining us. I'm so excited to talk to her. Yeah, I'm really, really excited to talk to Luana here this evening. Let me just give myself some light. Yes, I'm giving my light. My light on me now. Give my light. All right, guys. Yes, I just want to say thank you very much to those of you who continue to support my content. Hi Nisha. Hi darling. Oh, I love my YouTubers. Yes, my YouTube guys. Wow, we got a lot of folks coming on the YouTube. Yes, 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 yes. Come on down, come on down. I love it. I love it. Love it. My YouTube comments are the first comments I'm going to be priority. Okay, my YouTubers get priority. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel and you're not following me right now, if you're not viewing me right now on YouTube, you need to head over to YouTube, because if you want your comments to be seen, that's where it's at. You want your comments to be seen, if you want me to interact, if you want to make your comment. Hi Shaz Expressions. I see you. I see you. Oh my God, I see you. Get on that YouTube. Frugality locked in on YouTube. Yes, love it, love it, love it, love it. Love it for you guys. Thank you very much, man. People are coming on. They're coming on in numbers, and I appreciate you guys. Like I was saying, if you're not yet subscribed to the YouTube, yes, thank you. She said I'm subscribed and I'm locked in. Queen, thank you very much, my love. Thank you very much. If you've not yet subscribed, if you're viewing this program right now on any other platform, you need to be viewing it on YouTube. You need to go on YouTube. You need to so it's youtube.com/Jael Joseph, Jael Joseph. I've also pinned it to some of my platforms. So you subscribe there, hit on the subscribe button, turn on the notifications, so you never ever have to miss a live. Even if you want to check it out later, you can check it out. You can check it out 2 days later, a week later, a month later, 3 months later, 2 years later. You can check it on Facebook. You can't. All right. So just letting you guys know, all of those options are not available on Facebook. Thank you, Donnie. First time here on YouTube. Oh, Donnie, thank you, Donnie. Jess says I reach on YouTube for me, Papa. Yes, thank you, Jess. Thank you guys for coming on YouTube. I love it. I love that. I love to see you guys. Thank you, Donnie. I really appreciate you guys hopping on board the YouTube train, because that's how you support me as a content creator. Is you hop on my preferred channel. And yes, I have more followers on Facebook by far. Like, we have like close to 85k followers on my Facebook page. However, Facebook ends the live after, or gets rid of the live after a month. So they literally delete the live, and that doesn't work for me. That doesn't work for me, and it doesn't work for you, because I have people all the time will message me and say, Jael, I was looking for this live. Where is it? Get on the YouTube, okay? You can just type it in and you get it right away. And it will never be deleted unless I delete it, okay? So get on that, all right? Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. You know me. Okay, Donald. Donald's in the chat. Yes, Donald. I see you, Donald. Get on that YouTube train if you're not on that YouTube. I want to see only YouTubers on here. The YouTubers on here today. The people on YouTube. That's what I want to see. I want to say thank you very much to those of you who are still tuned in on other platforms because, I mean, I thank you guys for your support. Without you, there is no me to do this content. I need an audience, and I really truly appreciate all of the support that you've given me. You're giving me today, the support you've given me during duration of the time I've been on here. I just really want to say how thankful and grateful I am to every single one of you for doing this, and for coming on and for loving and for sharing my content. It means the world, right? It means the world that you share my content. It also means the world to those of you who subscribe to my Patreon. My Patreon is up top here. If you subscribe to my Patreon, it's patreon.com/Jael Joseph. You can subscribe for as low as $1 a month, right? $1 a month, and you support creators like myself. So you support me while I continue to create content for you and share for you. Share the stories of people, right? So you support me because the lights gotta stay on, bills gotta get paid, and not every time I get sponsors. Not every time I get sponsors. And I just want to say thank you very much to the sponsors who have supported me up until today and who continue to support me. So I want to say in a huge, huge way, thank you so very much to the National Cooperative Credit Union of Dominica, our community financial partner. I want to say thank you in a huge way to them for continuously supporting me on this journey. Obviously, they're investing in local content, and for that, I want to encourage you guys to support the NCCU, especially support them because on the 18th of May at 3 p.m., you can be in Daily Sis Primary School. You get to meet the board. You get to hear about any updates. You get to find out what's in store for you and your community. So they're having this event, which continues, called the Community Connection, and that definitely highlights a few of the things a few of the offerings that the NCCU has. All right. So just in a huge way, I want to also say thank you very much to them for continuously supporting me. Tongue tied for a second, and I truly appreciate that. Also, the NCCU they had a jingle competition that was in collaboration with Emo News. That was the Bouillon competition, and the winner of this is Makana Victor, and the bit was produced by Leylon. So big up to them. And don't forget, guys, you can bank anytime, anywhere at CU Online. Swipe freely worldwide with your NCCU International debit card. It's your money. It's your way. It's with NCCU. It's your NCCU, right? All right. So don't forget to check them out in the those of you in the Dailies La Plaine area, Grand Fond. They'll be at the Dailies Primary School on May the 18th. I also want to say thank you very much to Perky's Pizza, who recently came on board, and they've come on board in a huge way. So they're going to continue to support this show over the next couple of months. And I want to say thank you very much to them in a huge way, right? They have so many different promotions going on. One of them I really want to amplify, because let me tell you, I have two children who are obsessed with Perky's Pizza. That is the only pizza that those children want to eat, okay? They're obsessed with their large pepperoni pizza. Imagine two kids eating a large pepperoni pizza. Like every single Friday, them children want Perkies on a Friday. Well, good news for students, because the student discount card is back. So if you have student ID, for the month of May, so from tomorrow, you get your student discount, and that runs through to the end of the semester. So that's fantastic news for them. You could, in addition to pizza, you can get your wings, you can get everything in between, and you can also do it online at turkeyspizza.online. All right. So don't forget to check them out and dig today. Dig into Perky's Pizza today. All right, we're getting ready. Yes, let me tell you, that's Supreme Pizza. My kids like the pepperoni. They are obsessed with the pepperoni. For the longest while, my son would only eat the cheese. But now they've graduated to pepperoni. I call it a graduation because some children are so funny, but they love their pizza from Perky's Pizza. That crust, I know people that have come out from overseas and checking. Boy, that is the best pizza ever. Let me tell you, that crust is crusty. Okay, that pizza is delish. I just want to big them up, and every now and again I just cheat on a little bit this weekend. All right, big up yourselves, guys, kings and queens. Like the live, don't forget to share. Hey, I love that for Shaz. Thank you very much, Shaz. I'm like, oh, I love it, love it, love it. We got some folks on the live. Thank you very much, guys, for joining in. Let's get this show on the road. Let us get this show on the road. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. I'm so grateful to her coming on and talking about her story. I want all her story. She would like to talk about herself. We chugonate tonight. We want to know all the deets. I know. I suspect somebody. People ask for proposal. They want to know. Yeah, man. Huh. Let me tell you, we getting all the details tonight on exclusive interviews. She said, boy, Luana, they're checking boy. Why I agreed to do that thing there? Look, Jael, hand on her head. You know, like the song, hand on her. You put your hand on your head and hand on your. Yeah, she's checking. What story that? Then people put me in there. They want to know all of my business. I want to welcome to the show for the very, very first time on exclusive interview because she was on not too long ago as a Rotary member because she's also the president of the Rotary Club. But she's here. She's here. We won't talk about herself, right? She's here, and you might remember her. She's been doing, or you might have seen her doing her finance focus. You know, she does her little, I know, sips, what sips, small sips, what you call it again? She'll correct me, I know it's something to do with sipping auntie, right? And she's been a seasoned, she's a seasoned financial coach, an educator. She's also founder of Finance Focus, and she's been doing this for over a decade. She specializes in helping individuals. Luana always throwing fear for people and telling people, don't go and spend all your money on Shein. Don't spend all your money on. Always have a story to give people, right? And she's really encouraging also small businesses to improve their financial health through personalized coaching. And also she gives you all of these practical tools. All right. She has a master's in international finance and a bachelor's in accounting. And she's also certified in anti-money laundering technologies. Okay, let me tell you, the girl know what she's talking about. All right, she doesn't just run her mouth. Let's welcome for the very first time on exclusive interviews my guest tonight, Luana.
Jael.
Hi. I'm over here killing myself at that introduction.
What you killing yourself for?
Oh my God, I may regret this.
You think so?
What's up?
You think you're gonna regret this?
No. It's always a pleasure.
We're putting your finance in focus, right?
Yeah, that alone.
Oh my God, it's good to have you on. I know a lot of folks are looking forward to hearing about you. We've for years, for the last couple of years, you've graced us with your presence on social media. You were one of the first people because I follow quite a few people online. I mean, not just local Dominicans. I follow people from all walks of life, and you would find people are less reluctant to talk about finance and financial matters, and you've done it in such a cool way that it is palatable. It makes you stop for a moment and think like, but you think I really need to be ordering that now? Or like you really I really like, as a matter of fact, one of your posts actually deterred me from joining Costume Band. I was like, girl, I'm sorry, Luana. I was like, Luana told me to focus on my finance. And Luana, I don't think I'm ever going to join Costume Band thanks to you.
Oh my God, no. I'm sure that was not the intention of the
That
post.
wasn't your intention. However, when you posted during the time you posted, I was just like, I don't need to be spending that kind of money right now. It just, I mean, regardless of, I mean, I'm saying when I say I probably will never, that's actually not the case. Just in that moment when I saw it, it just reminded me, and it wasn't just me, because I think my sister also sent me a screenshot of it, and we're like, so imagine how many people you made think about their. I mean, I'm not saying that you're taking money from people. What I'm saying is that because actually we made wise decisions. Like, I was
Definitely
able.
did.
Right,
Mhm.
and that was the aim of your post. And in as much as, I mean, somebody have to, Shein have to probably lose some money sometimes, right? So it's going to go one way or another. Somebody going to lose out. When Luana tell people to focus, make sure your financial health is in check. And you have been preaching this in so many different ways. I remember when you first started coming out with your little videos. I believe you had like a yellow background, and you were doing this at UE. I think you were doing that. You were recording at UE, and then I was all in your business. Then let me tell you, I was all in your business, and then you started doing it with, I think, a yellow background, and then all of a sudden, branding changed, and my God, I've cop.
Big up to Media Links. Media Links has been with us from day one. And you get the story, but Media Links has been our media photography, videography partner from day one. When I tell you day one, the first video that we made has been Lincoln.
Wow. Big up to Media Links. Big up to Media Links. The other day, anyways, I'm not getting into that. We're not talking about Media Links. We're talking about Luana. Media Links gonna have to come on the show, but Media Links talk about Media Links. Big up to Lincoln. One time, Linky. But yes, you've definitely been. I know you probably don't realize it, but in a huge way, you really do impact a lot of people's lives. And I'm really interested in knowing, like, when did all this begin? Like, when did you realize, that, hey, I'm gonna focus on money. I wanna help people where money's concerned. But before we get into that, I kind of wanna figure out, what was it like? What was, like, 6-year-old Luana like?
6-year-old Moana. Jael, I think I've been learning. I've been in school since I was 2 years old. So you can see that I was an academic from young. I went to preschool in advance, and I was skipped in primary school. So that means I was advanced of everybody while there were elder people in my class. Here I was, this young one with the brain, and she's just in her books. My parents never had to tell me, go and do your homework. You would always find me reading something, using my hands, figuring something out, because I was just intrigued. There was always something that I was curious about, and I had to inform myself about it.
Wow, wow. So 6-year-old you could have been easily found in a book.
Yeah, but I mean, that's classic Luana. Still, still,
Six
still to this day.
6-year-old me was probably playing count on the road in my panty, running in the rain. That
Yeah.
was 6-year-old me. So I'm always shocked to hear when people say, "Oh, I was so studious," and this. I mean, I would read that one again, but it wasn't a thing. So so it's good, and you're still like that today.
I'm still like that.
Wow. Wow, that is really interesting that you started so long ago and you've kept it on. When were your early memories of, thinking about money and thinking about even what you wanted, because you're an accountant, as well as you studied accounting as well as finance. So when in life did you decide that that was where you were going to go, or did that just happen by coinciding?
I did not see that as a career, actually. When you're in high school and you have to pick your subjects, you're looking for the one that will make you money. And then at that time, there was like this rave that bankers make a lot of money. So, so I decided, why not do accounts and business? Because I'm sure I will get into the bank by doing these subjects. Lo and behold, I never even got an interview with any bank. So me thinking that by choosing accounts that my lifelong dream was to be a banker because you sit at the front and you're all pretty looking. Yeah, I was superficial back then, but that was what I thought it was about, and that was how I chose accounts and business.
Wow. Wow. So I want to go back a little bit before we get into your the accounts and business subjects, because it's funny you say that, because we just selected my son just selected his subjects because he's going. I can't believe I have a child going into third form, but selected his subjects, and I was like, I was waiting for him to tell me that he was going to do businesses, but he decided that for him he's doing sciences. But I still feel like he will learn that at some point in his life. So that doesn't bother me too much. I kind of want to know a little bit about your school days. So where did you attend school? Because you said you started preschool very early. So where did you attend preschool, primary school, and then high school?
I attended Charlotte Nursery, that's near the Fatima Catholic Church in Newtown.
Mhm.
Then I was sent to Convent Prep, where I was skipped again in advance of common entrance before my
So how,
time.
how old were you when you sat common entrance?
I think I was 10. I was 10 when I did common entrance, and I got Dominica's first bursary. I missed 1 point to get a scholarship. Can you imagine that? And
Um,
since that time, when I realized that 1 point is not taking me again, I was on a mission to get 100 points. So then I transitioned into Convent High School, where
mhm.
that's where you can see I blossomed into, that woman that I am today. Convent High School played a significant role in my deportment, in my discipline, and today I can say that I owe a lot to the teachers, the programs, the students that were there. We really made it what it was. I mean, the experience wouldn't be the best for everybody, but for me in particular, it had a remarkable impact. Um, More so when you want to ask about how did the accounts come into play. At the Convent High School, there was a credit unionette. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that.
Yes, I was the other day because Shari's on the live too. Just the other day, I was saying to Shari, I say, Shari, like, criteria need to be in every single school. Like that is where I remember I had my little book, and my mother used to make sure we saved, even if it was $2. It was sometimes I wanted the $20. Yes, my mommy just give me a $20 and I like to put on the book. But she would always make sure that we saved. So that is remarkable that you started. That's where you got your start.
Well, let me tell you about that. My friends were fed up with me. I was the treasurer of the credit unionette, and I would stand by the snack line to make sure that they don't spend all their money on snack. We have to save every Tuesday. Well, Luana would be standing looking at you, waiting for you to come and save at the credit unionette.
Well, at least you were making sure that they save their money.
I tried my best. I tried my best. And even then, because of my exposure to the credit unionette, a few years ago, I donated what you call the financial steps at Convent High School. So on the steps going up to the principal's office, you will see I put some financial tips there, and I put a saving plan for students who would just contribute $1 a day from first form to fifth form, and they could use that as a savings plan to take them through Convent has bloody credit union it.
Wow. So you always had that finance background, or that finance zeal, or that finance urge. Like, you
The
always want.
motivation was there. The motivation to make money was always there.
Were you a good saver? Like, were you? Because
No, I was not.
sometimes people that I because sometimes people that is blaggy about save, save, save. They themselves don't save.
I, in high school, maybe in high school, being involved in credit union. And then it wasn't my money I was saving. My parents made sure to give me money to save, and then I had to show them the book. So I was held accountable for putting the money aside. Um,
Diligent.
but after high school and going to college, that's when things took a turn. I mean, the money management skills went out the window.
Wow. Do you think though that a huge part of it was that you were not really taught how to, because like I was saying, my mother gave me money, but they never really told you why you're doing this. And I'm not even sure that they even knew why you were doing this, because I remember, like, okay, so I was raised in Pentecostal church, and I remember later on in life, like probably I must have been like 13 or 14. I remember it was Pastor Merrill at the time saying that, like breaking it down and saying, like, if you had to save $5 for your child a month from the time they were born, how much money the child would have when they turn 18. That's $5. I've done this for my kids.
It's valuable, isn't it?
I mean, it's more than $5, but I'm just like, I remember, and he was preaching, and that's what he said, and that is when it clued in. And I think it was so much later in life, like, or later in even in my life, that my mom really understood, like, why it was necessary to do certain things. I believe one of the things that really propelled her was when insurance came around. When it was people like, what's her name was Irma Douglas was her name. I can never forget that. And she said to my mom, I can remember that I was a little child, and she said to my mom, if you if you do insurance, you can use the insurance against education and stuff. And I remember when we got our first encyclopedia collection was with that insurance. She was utilizing that insurance. I believe it was even when we got our first computer too. It was true that my sister could correct me if I'm wrong, but that is literally. And even with like, we talking, this is not a credit union show. This is sponsored by credit union, but I cannot not talk about it, how important it was in my upbringing. Like, I know my mom felt so much safer taking loans with NCCU, because, well, it was, well, fake ass credit union at the time, because she knew at the end of paying the loan she had a savings. Like, so it had become so much of a big deal for her. She's like, I'm not saving my money nowhere else but at NCCU, at credit union, because that was so important for her. So it's so, exciting to hear you talk about that. But I'm wondering, like, do you think people, we need financial literacy, or was there lack of? Did you even know what the hell you were doing?
So you know that saying where they say that diamonds are birthed under pressure. That's how I was brought into the world of financial literacy and management. Because coming from high school, where your finances are controlled to some extent, and immediately after high school I went to college and I started working. I graduated from college in May, and by July I started UE, and then by November of that same year I was working. So there was no real financial education except for what I saw happening at home, what I saw happening around me. And I remember when I got my first paycheck, my first job was at Sat Telecom. I appreciate them for giving me that real job. But before that, I used to work with my uncle at Element Agencies. He gives all his nieces and nephews an opportunity to work for the summer to understand what working is.
Government agencies. That's my first ad ever.
So yes, he gave us the opportunity to learn about it. And I remember when I first got my official salary from Sat Telecoms, I didn't know what to do. I legit brought my salary for my mother and say, I make money. What to do with it?
Wow. And you were at an age where you should know.
I should have known, like there were things I supposed to want, I should have wanted to spend on and spending money on. but I didn't know what to do. I know that I had to save some because I mean my parents instilled in us that you have to save with any little amount that you have. But to understand how to manage that $800 for my first time, I knew nothing. And then comes where you're living at home and you have to contribute and you have to
Your
take care of
parents
your
made you
first.
contribute?
Jail.
First of all, who your parents? Tell us who your parents are. Because, let me tell you, more and more they're sounding like as if, they aligning with me.
Well, my both parents are, correction officers, prison officers, retired prison officers, Rollins and Violin Laura. And when you see the definition of discipline in the dictionary, multiply that by 5. And that, yeah,
Not
right?
by 5.
By 5, right? So having that discipline instilled in me in all aspects of my life, it made sense that when it came to money, the same rules applied. So I didn't even know what my first salary value was when I started working at Inland Revenue. And my mother immediately told me the amount that I had to contribute at home. I didn't even know how much I was going to get yet. So, so imagine that.
So what
That
did that contribution? What did that contribution go towards? I'm interested to know. I want to know, like, you paying for rent? Did she say you are paying for rent, or did she say you're paying for food, or did she
it's a,
say you're
it's,
paying the
it's,
you
it's
paying the light bill is yours?
it's a contribution to the household.
It was I love your mother. It was a contribution to the hell of all you out there that living still by all your mother home. All you mother need to make a contribution to the household. That is nonsensical. Let me tell you, one of the things that I learned when I moved to Canada and I started living with my aunt, um, and I always, this is something that I'm always so grateful for. Was the first time I understood what it was like to contribute to the household, right? And she made sure I contributed to the household. And I thought to myself, at the first, little bit, I was like, why is she making me like as if I felt like I was paying rent, and like everybody had like it was like you got chores, but I'm doing the chores. Why the hell am I still having to contribute? And when I moved out, my aunt gave me a check of everything I'd given her. Yes.
To see if you're telling the lady, no, you don't give him the money.
Right. I was able to get my furniture. I was able to get, certain things. And I remember she telling me, don't get furniture. We'll take care of that. She kept telling me, we'll take care of that. I think, is she going to take care of it? She give me the check for me to take care. She said, okay, own money. Your own money. We'll take care of it. Right. And those are some of the things that really, like, people like her really instilled in me, like, I know, like, there are a lot of adults on here, and we're going to go back and forth a little bit because you have such a wealth of knowledge, and I really want to inject that. Yeah, this is about getting your personal business too. but I feel like you have so much knowledge that can impact a lot of people, and I really feel like this is something that is lacking in our system tremendously. Financial literacy in the schools, like children understanding. Like my son wants $1 every day for him to buy ice pop, and I'm like, bro, you're not getting $1 every day. And my other one wants $10 for snack for him to go SME and buy. And I'm like, my brother, like, we're gonna make a snack, like I know your story. But sometimes you as a parent, you just feel like, oh my god, let me just give it to them. Like you almost feel like you causing them a disservice when you don't give it to them.
An opportunity to manage their own money, so you get to see how they do that, and so you can teach them the right way.
Wow. But you are getting $800 and you had to contribute. Well, 800 in a revenue was when you had to start contributing to the household. Were there other siblings in the house, or was it just you?
Yes, I had a younger sibling and I had an older adopted sibling as well. But the younger sibling was the princess, so she didn't have to contribute anything. She was still going to school. She was the princess.
And your older sibling contributed too.
Yes.
Wow. Wow, that is amazing. So kudos to your parents. Shaz is saying I love your parents' mentality. And I think honestly, as parents, as a parent myself, because I know you're not a parent, but as a parent, I feel like this is something that we need to implement or instill in our kids. You know that hey, when you start working, you have to contribute to the household. I used to call it, I used to say it's rent, but I think saying contributing to the household makes it sound a lot better. It's more palatable. It's better understood because you know when children think they're paying rent, they think they can come and go how they want, right? But if you say contributing to the household, all my other rules still apply.
And it did.
Wow. So tell me little bit about you and contributing to the household and what that did for you.
But it helped to some extent with with the introduction to budgeting, because at that time your salary is limited, and contributing to a household. And remember, I said that I did start UE immediately out of college, so I had a student loan by the time I was 19. So imagine being a young woman, I like to look good, I want to feel good, I want to go out with my friends. At the same time, I have to pay my student loan, I have to contribute at home. The net pay a little tight. The net pay a little tight. But no, we live in our best life.
Right.
So how do we live our best life? We decide we're going to take credit card because that is our source of funds,
Of
right?
living our best life.
Of living our best life. Now, because of that, what I thought it would have done is, given that I thought that I understood money management, I would have used it to supplement my income. But of course, there's no financial discipline. I'm being thrust into this world of employment with money that I don't know how to manage effectively. And then I'm racking up debt. At that point in time, I'm young. I'm seeing all over the internet that, as a young person, you have to get insurance. So I went ahead and got insurance that reduced the net pay even more. And then being an overachiever, I needed to have my master's by 28 years. So that means additional student
Expense.
loan debt. Then I find I'm not doing that online. I have to go to Trinidad to do my master's. So now it's room and board.
Wow. Wow.
So that's just to paint a picture as to the financial pressure that broke me at that point and made me more aware of what it meant to be financially responsible.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so you tell us a little bit about, when you really had that first moment, like when your mom said, "Hey, you got to contribute." What would people, your friends during that time, what would they say about you if we had to capture if I was a fly on the wall and your friends was malpalaying you or not malpalaying you, what would they say about you during those times? What type of person you were?
I will tell you, they would say that every time we go out, Luana buying the cheapest appetizer, and whole night she drinking one drink. It is what it is. The coin is tight.
Wow. So you would pick the cheapest thing on the. I have a friend that does that. And we're not encouraging that. No,
The
no, no.
cheapest thing on the menu, and I would sip my ginger wine. The ice would melt in my ginger wine, but whole night I sip it because I need to have a glass in my hand.
Wow. Was that your way of not spending, or was that because you were aware of the implication of spending too much, or was that you were just cheap?
No, it was not cheap. I was not cheap. Remember, the net pay was tight. The net pay was tight. I had to manage the money that I had because remember, I wanted to go out and have fun. And
Mhm.
after today is tomorrow.
Right.
We had to figure out some way to enjoy life, but at the same time, figure out how to leave money for the student loan, contribute at home, buy food, eat and be merry, all while living our youthful life.
Mm. How would you say your studies, you going over and studying accounting and even international finance really shape your view of money, both personally and even professionally?
Okay, so well, personally, like I said, it was under pressure that I had to become more financial aware. I studied accounting again because at the time we know that's where the money is.
Mhm.
So I studied accounting with the view of starting my own business. I wanted to, help businesses improve their financial management. How ironic is that? Eh? My personal finance is not the best, but I want to help people with their own, right? And at the same time, I did international finance because if the accounting did not work out, then I would be able to transition into the corporate world, as a CFO, and these types of roles. So I chose these topics because I felt like it would have pivoted me professionally, whether through entrepreneurship or in corporate life.
Wow, wow, that is amazing. That's impressive. But what is even more impressive is your credentials. So, tell us a little bit about, because from UE to Arthur Locke at Jack Global School of Business. What really motivated you to go to these specific schools? Because people, you can pick any school you want, right? I mean, especially if you're going using a student loan, you can go to Canada, you could go anywhere. Why you decided you were gonna stick to the Caribbean? Like, what was the motivation behind that?
Well, I can honestly say that I wanted to stay at home. Again, being growing up being sheltered, with limited independence, I did not believe that I had the capacity to, live on my own, to survive on my own. So
Wow.
when the opportunity for UWE Open Campus came about, it was easy. I could work and go to school at the same time. But then with the pressure that I endured studying and going to work under that bachelor's there, I decided I am not making that mistake for masters. So I took the opportunity, got an additional student loan, got some financial assistance from the government to do my master's in Trinidad. And at that time, they were not offering the program that I wanted to at open campus. You actually had to go on campus. So Artalog Jack is actually UWI's postgraduate school. It's
Okay.
a University of the West Indies postgraduate school in Trinidad, and they were offering that program. It was the first year that they launched that program, and I was
Mm.
fortunate enough to get an opportunity to go there for that.
Mm. Were there ever any moments during your journey, your educational journey, that you doubted yourself, like felt like, hmm, what am I doing this for, or or you think this is gonna work when I'm done?
It happens from time to time. I mean, we're not perfect. And I will tell you, specifically to finance focus, I remember the first time that I started to share tips on Facebook. And Jael, me who she think she is? When she come out, she want to tell me how to manage my money. It's people like that don't have their own money and they don't know what to do and they want to come tell people things. Girl,
How did not that happen?
I put my tail in my leg and I say, good, I don't post it more. So yes, there have been many occasions where I've decided, this is not working out. It's people are not receptive to it because at that time my mindset was different. I was doing it for different reasons. And
Mm.
then it dawned on me like, Nona, if you can help 1 in 5 people, you are making a difference. You are impacting someone who can in turn impact someone else. So don't worry about those people that posting on Facebook. and post your tips, whether they like it or not.
Why
Let
did you decide, why did you decide though that you wanted to start posting tips? Like what really motivated that?
again, based on my experience, going through university and learning about money management, also teaching some of my colleagues while we were on campus, it made sense that it was at that time I realized that I am an educator at heart. And that was the best way to share information because I love sharing information. You can ask me anything. If I don't know, I will tell you I don't know, but I will go and find it and come back and tell you because I feel like it adds value to you. Knowledge is golden. So there's one thing of having all the knowledge, but it's also difficult to communicate that knowledge. And then I realized at that point in time, I'm really good at this. So that's how I started, my free financial tips,
Mhm.
whatever that I learned personally and what I would have found in my research, I started sharing that. And of course, it started as a hobby. It was a hobby. Finance Focus was pro bono for a long time, a very long time. And at some point, you realize that your time has value. You also have to eat, and people pay for what they value. And that's how, we transitioned into business.
When did that happen? When did that decision happen that you were like, I'm making this a full blown business?
During COVID, like that's yesterday. Yeah,
Wow.
just the other day.
Was there a defining moment that you realized?
Yeah, there was. I was talking to a friend of mine, and Brenton Hillier, right? Brenton is a one-man motivation platform, right? And he would have seen all the pro bono that I was doing, sharing information, attending workshops, giving all those things. And he's like, you can charge for that, right? Like look at the bigger picture. You don't have to charge a lot, but you're building the brand. And then I also have to give credit to Kevin Francis of Redbox Solutions because him being our marketer, he's our digital marketer. He also got me to see the value in sharing information in different formats, social media, YouTube. He helped me build my first website, and it has been golden since. So I owe a lot of the shift in mindset from hobby to business to these two gentlemen.
Wow, I know them both. Kovian's a dear friend of mine, and Brent and I always run into him. And we always end up in the same events, and definitely, I can see I can see exactly why you are where you are today. In terms of what you're doing. So you decide to launch this business, but what were people saying even before you launched about the tips that you were? Because yes, you had the first Mapui, the set of Mapui, but that eventually changed because I didn't get to see the Mapui, but I got to see like the positive stuff out of it.
Yeah, because they started listening. We remember we're not taught boarding schools, and there were not a lot of public conversations around money management. And at that time, everybody wanted to manage their money. We were coming from Hurricane Maria, then we had a pandemic, and everybody's looking at how they can manage their money the best that they can, how they can save. They needed emergency funds, they needed to, get insurance. So there was this share of luck as well as the economic climate, our situation that we were dealing with that got people to pay more attention to what I was saying. But
Hmm.
it was packaged in such a fun way that you had to listen.
Or if you didn't listen, it would end up in your inbox.
Yes, one way or the
Trust
other.
me. Once you on Luana's once she has your number, you gonna get her promo. Period. You gonna get once you have her number, she have your number in her phone, you gonna see about finance focus. Even if you don't want to see it, okay, way. Right. Actually, that's how I started getting your stuff through WhatsApp. I mean, before I used to watch it online, but I you when you're not when you're not actively like engaging on a page or just engaging on social media, you'll miss. But once I remember I we had our first communication, I think you just immediately put me on your broadcast list. And from that moment, I've received your messages. So I know what's going on. I see your videos. And I know, again, like I said, it has benefited me. The free information has definitely benefited me, as it has done so many others, or so many other people can probably share the same or similar sentiments. Obviously, you mentioned about teaching people about money and money management, and all of this. How did you really prepare yourself to get into coaching people, and even like, because I mean, talk, you can say you know how to manage money because they teach you these things in school. I'm sure you learned, you learned about these things in terms of how to, but how are you able to now transmit that to people and coach people into managing their own money? Because it's one thing to manage your own money, but then to actually teach people. And then I see people like people coming on here saying, oh, she's my money guru, like she has helped me get my shit on track. She helped me, with my business plan. She's helped me with this, that, and the third. How did you prepare yourself for that?
Of course, you could have the knowledge and not know how to communicate it, right? So again, once I identified that this could be an opportunity for me to reach more people and make money, I went ahead and certified myself, because there's a difference between financial advising and financial coaching. Coaching is more personal and relatable, and you have to see the person beyond their situation, right? You don't just start crunching numbers right away and provide them with a solution. You have to understand their relationships, understand their lifestyle, and that makes it more personable so that you can transmit the information to them. So because of that, I went ahead and certified myself in financial coaching. So yes, you see me sharing all these tips, but I went to learn how to communicate, money management issues and understanding people and their relationship with money, just so that it can be better packaged.
As a friend in your friend group, what type of friend are you? Because now that, because I can, let me tell you, I have a friend who's not very frugal, and we tend to let her manage all of our events because we know we're not.
Yeah, I know that friend. I'm that friend. I'm I'm that friend. I am the planner. I am the budgeter. Like, listen, when my friends and I have to take a trip, like 3 months down, like say Kiss Jazz is coming up, you would have find me putting together the itinerary. I would have gotten flight options. I would have gotten Airbnb rental options. We have a whole budget with free options that we can choose from. So we are prepared to spend our money happily. Nobody not going and land in another country and they upset because they made the financial decisions. We make our decisions in advance. So when we get there, it's to enjoy
Sleep
our.
on it. You can sleep on this side. You can sleep on that
Yes,
side.
yes,
Sleep on that.
the money already spent, enjoy yourself. When we come back, we will make more.
Wow. So you are that friend. That's good. That's good. That's really, really good to know. Um, we've spoken a lot about you as, finance focus, your business. We've spoken a lot about that. But I'm interested to also know, because that's not all you do. You also work a full-time job. So share with us a little bit about what you decided to do following your career trajectory following university.
Yes, so of course I worked at Inland Revenue immediately after college. So I worked at Inland Revenue for about 14 years, thereabout. And then I moved over to the financial services unit where I'm currently an examiner. And right now, moving from tax compliance to regulatory compliance, anti-money laundering, it's a whole different world. It's interesting. It's intriguing every day. and it's something that I actually enjoy doing.
Wow, wow. What does that entail, being an examiner?
Oh, well, if you look at it with compliance, that's what we do. We ensure that the different entities, institutions that are instrumental to our financial system in Dominica, they're following the laws. They can pay the money. Our money is safe. When we have to make claims, it is easily accessible, and they are sticking to the law. It,
So you are one of those people who were responsible for letting Dominica win that you guys won an award recently. I can't remember the name of the award. Where you, I think it was anti money laundering. I think it was some award. I remember seeing you in a picture somewhere that you guys won an award.
our unit won an award for being the best financial services unit in the Caribbean because that means
Wow.
we're doing our job.
Wow. I mean, first of all, like how did, like, I mean, Dominica is like Dominica and there's a whole Caribbean. Like, how, I mean, obviously you would have a role to play because as an examiner, you make sure that things are being done and you know, sometimes you read online and everybody's saying, oh, Dominica is this and Dominica is that. But to win an award like this, it's not a this and a that.
It speaks volumes, especially as our unit is actually very small. We have about 8 people in our unit, and the amount of work that we have, the things that we're responsible for. You can imagine if they're neglected, what of effect it would have on the financial sector. So that just goes to show that the limited numbers that we have were impactful. And kudos to our boss. I mean, he's a tremendous leader, and he allows us to work and supports the decisions that we make, all in an effort to improve the financial sector.
Yeah, that is something to be proud of, Luana. Like, I mean, working in a small team, but still being so loud, and in terms of the Caribbean, I mean, and being recognized in such a tremendous way. Obviously, that does not come. Nobody can pull strings for that. It is something that you have to work hard for, because they say everything is a pull string in Dominica. You actually have to work hard for somebody on the
Yeah.
outside to recognize you. You can toot your horn all how you want, right?
Right.
Personally, once it goes out there, if it doesn't read well on paper, or if it does not add up, they're gonna tell you you're full of shit, right? And that is not the case, right? So I want to big you guys up in a huge way for actually getting the award, and working towards, and continue to working towards making sure that the financial sector is secured in Dominica. So kudos to you. I see my sister saying remarkable FSU team. Yeah, she's very much team FSU. Yeah? Or I'll get off my life. Get out. As a compliance officer herself, she's always talking, and I'm like, I don't know half the people, but get out, get off. My I think, but she's very, very much impressed, with the work that you guys are doing. So we talk a little bit about you as an examiner. You about what does Luana like to do for fun? We know a little bit that you like to read. I kind of get a little hint that you like to party because you're going all the way to St. Kitts. Because we pulling little things, I'm not shipping. What do you like? And I also know, from our recent conversation during the carnival season, that you also love to volunteer. So tell me a little bit about, the other side of Luana that does not think of money.
No, I do not think of money all the time. I spend my money as well. You have to enjoy your money. And that is something that I normally preach. You make money, you have to enjoy the money. So, yes, you will find me at the feds. You will find me at the feds. I will be enjoying myself. I like to hang with my friends. I like to relax. I like to go for drives, go to the beach, go to the river. I'm more of a tight-knit person. So you more find me in small groups enjoying
Like,
like if we have like a house party, if
you're,
we have,
you're a click girl. I just play with you.
I can count my friends on one hand, so so there we like tight knit stuff. We're very personable, and it means that these moments are more valued compared to you being everywhere that a pan beats. You're there, and you're just there wasting time. You're not interacting. It's not adding value to you. What I do is always intentional. So whenever I show up to a place, that means I wanted to go there and I have a plan to enjoy myself.
Right, right. That's wonderful. Tell us a little bit about your role, and what really got you started at Rotary, because you are Rotarian, so we spoke a little bit about it when we spoke last, about how you got started and whatnot. But I think I want to get to know, who invited you, and tell me a little bit about that journey.
I was actually invited to a Rotary meeting in 2017 January by Grayson Stedman Jr. Right, and at that time, to become a Rotarian, still is, you're supposed to attend free meetings, and then a proposal is made for your membership. The board has to accept you as a member. But when I got into that room, I'm looking around and I'm seeing seasoned businessmen and professionals. And my first thought was, what are you really doing there? None of them, you know? And I started coming more frequently to meetings to understand what it is that the Rotary Club was about, what do they do, most importantly, the people that were behind the Rotary Club, and the volunteerism and sacrifice that they made for service. And I actually attended 6 months of meetings before I expressed interest to become a Rotarian. And at that time, Rotarians are more senior professionals, 30s and up. I was the youngest Rotarian. I was the youngest Rotarian in the club at that time. But I saw something that I wanted to do outside of my career. I saw the impact that the club was having on the community. I attended one project, and I believe the way that the person expressed gratitude, you could actually see that their life was changed. I'm like, wow, there are people that actually out there changing lives. And I want to change lives, not just in finance focus, not just in my business, not just in at work, but I want to have a greater impact.
Wow. Wow. And tell us, so you became a member, then, because now you have like, you're in like big name, like 2017 to now is not long ago, eh?
It was a process. It was a process. And again, because I like to get involved, I was everywhere. So I transitioned. I was the treasurer for 2 years. Then I became the membership chair. And again, because of my interest and involvement, people saw that I was willing to make the sacrifice. The motto of Rotary, service above self. And many times, my parents were like, "You serving people outside there and forgetting people inside here," you know. But service above self is not sacrificing, quote unquote, yourself for service. It's
Mhm.
building a holistic view that you giving of yourself to your home, your community, your church, is that it is a form, it's an act of service.
Wow, wonderful. I mean, Luana, you wear so many hats. You have Rotarian, treasurer, board member, lecturer. How do you manage all of these roles?
You want the honest answer?
Hmm.
Yeah, many times, when people ask, young professionals or, the successful people, how do you manage it? How do you do it all? Like most people don't answer honestly. And I can tell you that whenever you see me thriving in one part of my life, there's another part that's either failing or being neglected. I'm not gonna lie about that, because many times we see women, for example, being all superior and mighty, and we're like, I wonder what's going on behind the scenes at home. So it is a challenge to manage it
You
all.
talk to me.
It is a challenge to manage it all, but when you look back on it, sometimes the places that you put the effort, it fulfills you so much that you are able then to give up yourself in that other area when you move into something else, whether it be home or with your family or with your friends at that time. So I like to be honest with people that think like, I have it all under control. No, I don't have it under control. There are times when I have to make sacrifices that are detrimental to my decision making at the time. However, the ultimate goal is the bigger picture.
Mhm.
What are we sacrificing now based on the goal that we want to achieve, the people that we want to touch?
Wow, that is really, I'm glad that you could be honest about that, because people always ask me that, and to be quite honest, I never looked at it that way. I think I know it's happening. Like we are aware that it's happening. Like other parts of your life is not as successful, or is not as, although at any given time I have two parts that move in tete a tete, but for the most part, everything in your life is not. If your professional life is going great, sometimes your personal life is like falling apart, because you obviously, especially as women, sometimes you have to work so much harder in order for professionals, male professionals, to really respect you, really, really even go as far as admiring you, in terms of your work ethics and stuff. That sometimes you neglect your own personal relationships, be it your personal relationships, whether it's romantic, whether it is family, whether it is friends, like I'm one who's guilty of that, like I always feel like, oh, that can wait, like but this can't wait, but
But
yeah.
yeah, you have to feed things. And
Hmm.
that's why you have to try to find a balance. And if you cannot find a balance, find some way that they can all work out to the best that they can.
Hmm. She giving us other advice. I know she giving us other advice. Yeah, it has nothing to do with finance. Other advice. I want to at some point go to the chat. Um, you are currently the president, so your term is 2024-2025. Um, Tell me a little bit about your vision and impact for for the year that you're the president, and how do you feel like, what impact have you made so far, and how do you feel about moving on from that?
I was fortunate enough I say fortunate, I mean, it's a lot of work, but I was fortunate to become the president during a milestone year for the Rotary Club. One, it turns 50 years this year. That means for 50 years, Rotary Club of Dominica has been giving service in Dominica. Then we're also recently celebrating the 10th annual secondary school quiz competition. And next month, the club will be hosting its 30th mission of the Bosch Eye Care team coming to Dominica. So you can imagine having to coordinate all these major events to keep the club at the reputable level that it is, to serve both its members and the community. But again,
Hmm.
I have not done that by myself. I have an amazing board, a very supportive board, and the membership. They stay again. We all have the same goals. Our goals are aligned, so everyone is working to achieve that goal. Now, usually at the start of every year, the district representative of Rotary Club of Dominica, or Rotary clubs, they would tell you what the governor wants to achieve. So she or he has their five main goals that they want to achieve across the islands, and you, the president of your individual club, you are responsible for executing it in your country. And one of that was to increase impact. Now, as you know, the Rotary Club of Dominica, we raise funds. South and Punch, we raise funds
Moi,
to
toujours là, mon conseil. We should call it Cell Sauce and Punch. And the cell is for jail.
Social Punch is our fundraiser that basically funds everything that we do.
Mm.
And what I wanted to do this year in particular is show our patrons, our corporate sponsors, our partners where their money is going. You know, Rotary is not just collecting money and putting it on an account somewhere. So you will find that over the period of that my presidency, the club has become more visible because we want to show everywhere that the money is going. We make sure that our social media presence has increased significantly so that people can see, you know, we're contributing here, we're donating there. There are many different projects and initiatives that many people don't know about. And I wanted Dominicans and the wider region to know this was done by Rotary Club of Dominica.
Hmm. I learned a lot of those things. Like when you guys came, I didn't know, and even in new initiatives like the bay leaf oil
Yes,
or
yes, the refurbishment of the distilleries, yes.
yes. So even that, I was just like, oh damn! Like I didn't know that you guys were planning on doing that. Like it was just something that you don't know. Like a lot of things you just don't know that you guys are doing. So it was really interesting to know that that is actually what a lot of the money and I feel too, it made a lot more people want to go to Southern Punch or want to participate because they knew this is not I'm not going just to affect
Yeah.
they're not just raising funds, they're raising funds for they're raising funds too towards that. So that really was really it touched a lot of folks knowing that was actually the case. So kudos to you for ensuring that there was a lot of visibility, or there's a lot of visibility during your presidency. Obviously, Luana, you've been recognized locally. You've also been recognized regionally for your work. What does recognition like Salute to Women Award mean to you?
Oh, that was humbling actually, because again, I saw the nominees and they were women who have been in service and in their careers for years beyond my age. And when I got that nomination from Rhoda and her team, I felt humbled. Like there are people out there looking at young people like myself, and they are appreciative of what we do. They respect what we do, and they see the sacrifice that we're making to make a difference. So it was really humbling, but at the same time motivating, because sometimes you're out there working hard, you're doing what you have to do, and then there's always this little glimpse of, oh my God, can I go on? Or there's this self-doubt that always tries to creep in every now and then. And
Mm-hmm.
to see that on that scale, that I got a nomination, and most importantly for my field in financial literacy, which is my aim, to improve our financial literacy locally. That just made it even more grateful for me.
Mm. I want to jump back into finances because I feel like we need to pick your brain some more.
Right.
Just because obviously you're a financial coach. You spoke about getting certified recently. What would you say is probably the number one mindset shift that you've helped people make when thinking about money, when it comes to money?
Well, immediately a quote comes to mind, and I start most of my sessions with that quote on the screen. It's a quote from Dave Ramsey that says, "Personal finance is 20% knowledge, but 80% behavior." And when you sit and you think of it, it's like saying abs are made in the kitchen, right? 80% of your abs are made in the kitchen. So then that makes you think, my habits are what's keeping me financially literate. Yes, I can listen to Sips and Tips. I can listen to Luana. I can go and read how many financial books. But if my habits do not change, how am I moving from point A to point Z? So once I establish that into the introduction of the session or the conversation, it starts to get the gears spinning, because you start to wonder, I'm actually doing these things. If I stop, if I change, then there can actually be significant change.
Let's talk about setbacks. Have you ever had a money mistake moment that humbled you or it taught you like a big, big, big fat lesson?
Jael, I'm not perfect, with money. None of us are perfect with money. The
But
bill
you
was
don't care that way. You know, you got people like saying people like me saying no, I'm not spending money on that.
I am a realist, and that is why I like to be honest with people in my engagements. You know, I am a human just like you. Maybe was I'm a woman, so I'm emotional. I know a friend that would tell me I'm like a marshmallow. But when it comes to money, yes, I have the education and I may make less mistakes than the average person without the education and the knowledge. But I remember there was a time, at some point you feel like you know it all. Well, I decided I'm going to make an investment. And contrary to what I taught people, because I thought I knew it better, I
Don't
actually
tell me, don't tell me it's a Ponzi scam that hold you.
no, no, none of us think that. It
But it
was
was
an
there and they're
investment.
calling it.
I believe it was an investment at the time. I convinced myself this was an investment, and I felt like, I know everything. I have it all planned out because I have the steps that, and it didn't work out. And that humbles me. When I tell you humble, you imagine losing your money, the money you were struggling to save. That humbled me. And since then, I've been able to be more honest with myself. Like, you don't know it all. Relax yourself, you know?
Relax yourself. You don't know it all. Obviously, I want to go to the chat because a lot of folks have been talking, and I don't want them to think that they're talking to themselves because I am here and we're gonna pull out the questions or pull out the comments that folks have been sharing on the live. So we're heading over to the chat. And obviously, like I said at the beginning of the conversation, if you're just coming on and you are on any other platform and not on YouTube, I'm pulling straight from the YouTube platform. So if you have a question or a comment, I encourage you to head over to YouTube because that's where I'm pulling the comments from. Because at some point we're no longer going to be streaming this like this. I mean, we probably still will and just let them get rid of it after a month. But it's very important for us to keep this content going past 1 month, and YouTube is the platform that allows that. So I want to head into the chat, and Jess RE, and I'm guessing that's Ricketts Esprit, says, listen, there was a season that every single time I saw Luana, she was wearing her brand colors or pin on her jacket. Now once I see green and yellow, I think finance.
Mission accomplished.
So that's her one. Shaz expression says, I love that you saw you needed to share knowledge in spite of the negativity. You made the decision to focus on the positivity and you did it anyways. I love it. So that's from Shaz. I'm gonna pull up like I said, we're pulling out the YouTube comments. So if you need to make a comment, make sure you're making it on YouTube because if you're not on YouTube, Mopeke, we're not pulling. We're not pulling it. We're pulling up all of the comments from YouTube. Somebody by the name of Frugal T. I'm trying to find their comment. I saw their comment earlier on. Okay, we'll start with Georgiana, who says, and I think she was talking about when we were talking about the drink and making sure that you're sipping it all night. She says, ask them for more ice to make it stretch. You know, she said, make sure you ask for more ice.
Yes.
Um, Frugality says her hand was tight. I guess that's one of your friends. That's Frugality.
That's Tracy, yes.
Yes, that's mentioning. Guys, remember that I'm taking comments from YouTube. Somebody messaged me and told me that tomorrow is your birthday.
Yes, yes. When we settled on the date, I was like, oh, birthday eve. See where I'm sitting. Tell the jail my business.
You could be out for drinks, ringing in the birthday.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to come and talk to me. So Shander is saying, Great interview, Jael. Luana is all what she says she is and more. Love her. Oh, tomorrow is her birthday. Make sure you wish her happy birthday. Happy birthday to you in advance. You know, I hope that you have a wonderful birthday. So I'm putting that out there. We probably need to do a little post for you and all, on the thing to make the happy birthday post. Essie saying, uh, Jail woman pretty. I am not. I am not. I am not. I should have probably screened it, but it's probably a good thing it was not screened. So answer the person question.
What? If people call my phone, I'm giving them your number. All right.
They're calling you my phone, your phone, but they giving me them. How they getting your number? How they getting your number? I didn't ask you to deliver your number. The person asked you if you're single. So I was hard.
Single. Yes.
You are single?
Mhm.
She's on the market, guys.
That does not mean the same.
And she's focused on her finances, so you will not be broke. Oh my God. Be Natural says, I can testify to the impact Luana has had on my business, Be Natural, my secret weapon in gaining grants and growing my business in a sustainable way. Thank you. So that's from one of your clients who's shouting you out and saying thank you very much. Please tell her to pop her ish more often, Jail. She's that girl. Please tell her to pop her ish some more. Yeah, that you know what that means.
She
So
rings into my head often. She does.
so one of your friends is saying full circle moment, best way to bring in your birthday, doing what you do best. Aww. Aww, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Let's see. Looking for any more comments from the YouTube, from the YouTubers. And hopefully we get some more before we wrap up because we're coming to the end of the show. For young people, Luana, in the Caribbean who are trying to get their money right, what is your biggest or probably your best piece of advice?
Start young. The earlier you can start, the earlier you can start on increasing your financial awareness, the better for you. And I'll tell you why. I can use myself as an example. Remember, when I started going to UWI, I was very young, but immediately, because of educating myself, I realized that insurance could help. Many times you think that the people after you are who benefit from insurance, for example, when you take a life insurance. But my life insurance, I took it at, I think, 21, and it had accumulated a cash value significant enough that I could use as collateral
I
against
milk that so
my
much already.
loan.
Girl, I milk that so much already. So many times I've had
Listen,
go in. Like I don't even think about honest about I don't even think about the bank when I thinking
and
about
then you use it how you want, you pay it back how you want.
what you want is yours.
It's yours, right?
When
So
you die, God forbid, they'll just deduct it from the total and give it.
yes. So I think educating yourself on financial matters, and right now, because of how the economic climate is, both locally, regionally, and internationally, we are in a ripe time to make money. There are so many opportunities that I see in Dominica to make money. And people, whenever I say that, there are some people that just wonder, like, what you talking about? But it's your mindset. You have to be able to look for opportunities where there may be none, right? So you look for opportunities, you build your awareness on financial matters, you control your emotions. Young people, your money is controlled by your emotions. If you can control your emotions, you can control your money. That's as simple as I can put it.
Hmm.
Because we like nice things. Yes, we want to get ahead in life. Yes, society gives us pressures of things that we want to achieve. But equally, once you can control your emotions, but also identify when you need more means, That will help you get a long way because you grew up hearing people saying, "Oh, people doesn't live within their means. People don't know what to live within their means." But there's actually another part to that. We also have to identify when we need more means because there's a difference between a money management issue and an income management issue. Money management issue, you don't know your needs and wants. You're spending money how you want. You're in a problem. Income management issue, you're trying everything to do. You're cutting expenses. You're making sacrifices, and you still cannot get ahead. It's because you need to make more money. So if at a young age you can identify the difference between these two, you can control your emotions, you can increase your financial literacy, then you are on the right path.
Yes, more means, more means. That is some really solid advice for young people out there, Caribbean young people. Uh, Luana, I have one more question, but Samaj, who I'm sure you've been in contact with, who's my producer, who helps me put together these shows, put together what he's calling it bonus lightning wrong, but I feel like I want to call it Samaj is wrong because Samaj is the one who puts these together, and it's literally a few questions that you answer quickly. And the first thing that comes to mind, I think we probably got the first question already out of the way, but I'm gonna ask it still for those latecomers that missed it. But I'm just gonna run through it, about five of them, and you just have to spit out whatever comes to mind first. You think you can do that for us?
Yeah, let's go.
First job ever.
Element agencies.
Cash or card?
Hard.
Why?
Because I can track my money.
Mm. Splurge item you don't feel guilty about.
Food.
Morning routine in 3 words.
Oh my God. Coffee. Check my puppy. I mean, rest in peace, Blue.
Mm.
And walk out the door.
One Caribbean woman who inspires you.
Perfect woman who is right. Tekla. Tekla. Yes. Tekla this woman is just amazing. I
Wow.
think she was here recently for one of the symposiums.
Yes.
Jael, I think like if you meet her, you
I've
just,
met her before.
oh my God,
I've
that
met her
lady is
before.
phenomenal.
Yes, she's a wonderful individual. She is absolutely phenomenal. Yes, definitely agree. I just want to pop in a couple other comments that people brought in. So Zarina Dura says, "Got my first policy at 19, thanks to Finance Focus." Somebody else said, "Badwill." Something says, "We say we are approaching a recession in the U.S. markets, but remember, a recession is a yardage for the prepared, young and old. Great show tonight with an awesome guest." So just showing you some love. There. My final question: what legacy do you hope to leave through Finance Focus and your community work?
Increased financial literacy. In the recent ECCB financial literacy survey, Dominica ranked really low on that scale, which meant that our level of financial literacy locally is very poor. So the platform that I have is aimed at increasing financial literacy from as young as 5 years to as old as 55, 60, because I think it's important to have strong financial management no matter what age you are. So through Finance Focus, there will be additional opportunities for people at different levels to improve on their financial literacy. So you have to look on, there's so many things that I have in store. For this year, JL, it's going to benefit the young, the middle age, the old. I'm just so excited about it because there's a plan to take Finance Focus regional, and we can only do that if we have the support of our followers that like and share and subscribe to our posts. And I'm really grateful for everyone who's been with us for over 8 years. Finance Focus celebrated 8 years in April. This is actually our anniversary month. And you can imagine there are many times that I wanted to give up, but I remain motivated by the people who send comments like Zarina, like at 19, Finance Focus like helped you to identify that you needed a life insurance policy. That that is just remarkable. So once I continue to be motivated both intrinsically and extrinsically, I am good.
Ooh, she is good. This is the time when I kind of leave it to you to, if anything, we missed anything, if you want to shout out anyone, if there's something that you want to say. I know you mentioned, a few of the projects that Rotary is doing. If there's anything you want to say to the audience, I leave that part to my guests. And as my guest, the floor is now open to you that you can share before we wrap up.
Of course, I want to say thank you to you, Jael, for giving me the opportunity to talk about myself, which I did not do at all. So it's taken a lot of me to share, a little bit about my life and my
Oh, there's an anniversary and birthday. I mean, anniversary in April, birthday tomorrow. There's a lot to be thankful for, and there's a lot to be showcased for.
Yes. And so I want to thank all the people, not only the people that support Finance Focus for social media, but there are people behind the scene that continue to support me. Friends, family, you name it. These are the people that mold me into who I am. My mentors. I have people that I talk to. I'm not as great as I am. I'm as great as my team. And I want to say a big shout out to Finance Focus team. I have a group of young people that you may be surprised because they're young. They may not be the driving force behind Finance Focus, but they're the ones that keep us going. Because when I'm not available, they're the ones that keep Finance Focus on top of its game. They're the ones interfacing with the clients and making sure that we deliver on the services that we put out there. So I want to say a big thank you to my team members. I want to say thank you to my family and friends for the support in everything that I am. They are my support. Rotary Club creates an avenue for me to improve my project management skills. It improves my communication skills, and the people there are just amazing. To listen, to me talk for myself, but I think we had enough. So I'm gonna go now.
We love you, Luana. Thank you very much for all of the education that you've given us, the free advice, the free. I mean, for some of us who probably feel, oh, we can't really spend the extra, but we follow you. And we're happy for the extra advice that you were able to disseminate. And for those of you, you go ahead and follow Luana. She has a page. You can follow her on Finance Focus. You can follow her on her personal page. I see somebody trying to give you a super drink, a super chat birthday drink. Girl, go follow Luana. That's how you can get in touch with her. Go follow, like, and subscribe. Finance Focus. I'm sure she'll get the message. Whether you send a smoke signal or a super chat, something, right? And happy birthday to you in advance. I wish you an awesome day tomorrow. Enjoy whatever you have plans or whatever your friends have planned for you. I hope that you enjoy to the fullest and you have an awesome day. It was such a pleasure having you on the show here this evening.
Thank you, Jael. Have a good evening. Enjoy your weekend. It's a jazzy weekend.
Oh yeah, so we'll see. We'll see a jazz, right? You have your outfits?
Well, I cannot give my whereabouts. No, you have the whole world knowing what I'm about. I could, yeah.
I think the person overseas though. Why? You gonna have security this weekend, okay? Security. We're gonna have to hire security. Oh my god, she should be from me, Moji. I should be scared. Luana, it's been a pleasure. Have a great weekend, okay? Bye-bye. Guys, that was it. The lovely Luana joined us here. It was so wonderful having her on the program. And thanks to all those of you who joined in and who shared and who sent comments and who acknowledged and who were just awesome on the live for this evening. I truly appreciate every single one of you. If you have not followed and if you have not subscribed, do so now. Okay, what you waiting for? Go ahead, hit the subscribe button if you're on YouTube. Follow on any of the other platforms that you're on, and turn on your notifications so you get notified when we go live again. It's been a pleasure being on here with you. I won't. The next time you see me will be in May. All right. I don't know what date because Samaj handles the calendar, right? I don't know when we're coming in next and who's our guest, our next guest. But you just have to follow so that you know who's next coming up soon. So we have a few shows that we have to reschedule because we had some mixes in in schedules and things happen. Life was life in. But we're gonna be rescheduling them, like guests like Devontae. We're gonna reschedule him, and get him on. So go ahead, guys, and subscribe and follow. And thank you all those of you who are subscribed on my Patreon. I truly appreciate and love you. Thank you very much for your support. I want to say thank you in a huge way to my sponsors, National Cooperative Credit Union. Don't forget they have this amazing event happening in Daly on May the 18th. And also Perky's Pizza from tomorrow. You can use your student ID. Once you're students, those of you who are students of the college, once you have a student ID, you can get your discount at Perky's Pizza. Thanks again to the lovely Luana for allowing us into a little bit of her heart. She can tell us she's single. Okay? She's single. Right? We lucky we get all that information. Let me tell you, we lucky. We so lucky, we lucky. All right, we get all that information. I want to say thank you very much to her for coming in, and thank you very much to Samaj and my entire team for putting this together. I'm saying goodbye. Next time you see me, it will be May. So, leaving you with a word from our lovely sponsors. Until next time, bye-bye.
You need a loan, a checking account, a fixed deposit or insurance. NCC got you in various offices. So it's high time to begin your membership. You want quality products, we have that. You want quality services, we have that too. Our services will help make your dreams come true. That's a fact. Hurry now to NCCU, your community financial partner. Here to support you through all disaster. At NCCU, trust us, we care. That kind of loyalty you cannot find anywhere. National Cooperative Credit Union, education, training, and information. Self-help, self-responsibility, democracy, equality, solidarity. At NCCU, we hustle hard for our members. So become a member today at one of our local offices to help us make your dreams come true. 255-2126. NCCU, your community financial partner.
Back it up.
Boy, I hungry.
Wait, come see that.
Take advantage of Perky's Pizza's college student discount. Spend $10 to $50 and get 10% off, or spend $51 and up for a 15% discount. Flash your ID and save big today.